Hello everyone, ready to dive into a world of Hunger Game Catching a Fire, released on November 2020 and 2013. This film is sparkless endless discussions, and today we are uncover the every thrilling detail. And especially if you enjoy the deep dive, don't forget hit and like button if you really help us to grow. And for more incredible movie explanations and hidden gems, subscribe to the channels now unveil the magical behind the cinematic masterpiece. We open in a cold grey wilderness of District 12 where the Everdeen hunted a memory of a game is struggling and reclaim a sense and normalize, but the peace in only a hallucination. Victory has come with a prize, and defense is the last anger game, choosing to save the PETA by threatening a double suicidal isn't just a romantic gesture, it was an act of rebellion. And the president showed the notice, and Katniss prepare for a victory tour. The Snow's visit make it clear and has become a symbol of dissent. And the Capito is a watching for her every move. The tour make cutscenes and pairs across the district, but instead of a celebration that meet with a silence, sadness, and sign of surprising the moment the people and are waking, and it's a here the film stable began to shift from the survival story into a something bigger, a political border leagues ready to exploit with a pantomime to edge of revolt and the Capito graft and crucial twist, the 27th Hunger Game, the quarter coil withdraw is a tribute for existing victory for a district 12 and means the Catissins must return to the era and the PETA volunteer to go with her. As the camera moves in a Capitol once again, we see the system and desperate to maintain the control, Affleck track it using the Familio Byton and compose is Veziba shaking and the quarter kill is a no game. It's a message, it's a tribute selected are not innocent teenager. This time, the seasoned victory, the warriors, alliance, enemies, and among the Flicknick, Audrey, and Charing, and Deadly, and Johnsonin, Messins, and Fresis are apologetic, and the errands may be changed, but the currently remain. The catching fire doesn't just repeat the formula, it's a relevant, it's where the first film was about the individual survival. This one is about alliances, discussions, resistance as a Katniss and Pierce enter a new era. Design the clock with a deadly trap in each segment. The story, intensity, the poisonous fogs, and Jerry Fins are loved one, and the story physiological warfare designed to break them. Yes, there is something bigger happen beneath the surface. Alliance like a BT and Varys, seeming and electric, and actually the mastermind working on a plane. The King once assumed the only concern with the charming strength reveals a layer of a royalty and hidden pain. And the tension built. Activity starts, the senses as lords, consensus, and the audience begin to piece of together in a real time. Who can she truly, and what's the end game? There isn't reduction in a symbolic as a literally, with the Katniss use her narrow to shelter the force field. It's just escape and fact of war. She become more victory, and she become more sparkling resolution, and just like that and yanked from the game into something far more dangerous, rebellion. The final moment of the film are hunting and powerful. Katniss wake up for discovery, and she has been rescued by a rebel, and District 12 was bombarded, and Peter is captured. The hallucination of a control is shattered, and the Capitol grabs the sleeping. As the screen fades to black, and we realize that never just about the survival, it was something awakening, and even shot in the catchy fire. They are the lusted capital paradise to the iris, just jangle like a iron and graft with the precious. The performance, especially for by the Jennifer Lawrence, Donald Schultersland, and the Philippi Sorons and Hoffman, elevate the narrative to the something deeply human. The shaking are not longer just personal; they are politics, emotional, and explosive. They make of catchy fires, or the compiling is just built to original. It's compiled. The world depends the character and uprising consequences. It's just a story about the power, sacrifice, and it what's the mean stand up, and everything is at risk. Thanks. If you like it, please my request to subscribe our channel. It's helped me to grow. Next move on the next era. The reason of catchy fire stand out. What is making extraordinary? What is a evaluation for the survival story into something from the reborn. The first film, the Kitsy Aventure's battle was the personal. She took for her life. In the second installment, the battle become universal. His choice Raven Breton across the pinium. You are just watching a game. You are witness the sparkness or rebellion. Every frame feels alive. The mute, dusty tones of District 12 clashes with the neon axis of a Capitol, and then shift again into the lash brittle of Irens and the constant undercourse that shaking its a visceral way. And the story, the Katniss repeated return home from their deadly victim, and but instead of the relief they face the consequences. The president show the visit Katniss in the District 12, the obsession quiet for her home, replacement for the sons, and instance of as a warm, and the refuse from the capital rules are ignored, and your children reminder and defense has been prized, and Snow settle the undercourses the tension. This is just about winning anymore. It's just a control, fears, and symbols. We follow the Katniss and petals on the victim and throws and destinate each stop effort for the windows and the phenomenon suffering from extreme anger. Where come our place would be have greatest tribute, silence and stares, no dominate and grows, and film doesn't lecture. It's no the lightning visual sparkling and the camera lining and empty chair. The president's longs and the sparkly resistance hidden is a whispered word, and here the beacon of senses and witness Euclid and become a boscons. Let's move to the next thing. I request you please subscribe our YouTube channel and click the bell icon. This thing is very helping for me. We know this movie and film is very impressive and very attractive from rather than the other. It's a story connected by the two movies. Let's get moved to first the capital shifter and nation or safety announced by is a quarter coil, a twisted version of the games that force former visitor to compete again. When the Katniss is called tribute, the shocking is immediately when the Peter volunteer instead of her, and the clan's film doesn't pause. There are the slow showdowns, and the emotional is weighted by the beats. And from the special thing is that the made discussion on scoring royalty and sacrifices and terrifying uncertainty. The journey back to the Capitol feels different this time. It's no longer just a spectacle and calculate controls and costumes escape from the higher fashion to grand iflies and no look strange. The capital alien post pictures wealth, so spires beautiful but feels resembles and dangerous. We are victim periods enter the new era just at total no more control. Carpisians, the agent is deathly clock. Each segments opening the trap to the distilled flocks, fires, waters, enemies, or deadly captures. All the means of breaking minds and such as bodies inside a lines from freaking charming and trauma. The reason we the force unfortunately the peers were overshot. Quickly plot they are showing the strength come in a frame and kidneys arrange and ballast true and suspension always be watching brittle and rescue the game progress similarly to rules of crumbles and scenes build slowly and relativeness and kitness and fitness create the distractions and the beats wire traps, cult, and torchlight. They reign slaver with the fear. The visual storyline is amazing when the Jap scenes mimic the screams of love and warmth. These are things are very special with the facing unfortunately. The whale's blood darkened and redness of the earth, the capital crushed the theatrically designs behind the spectral and is emotional loss, the pain defeat when they are crushes, the courage, the Britain, the cries and plus the cinematic language become emotional language and then the moment kidneys fire the narrow strength into the force the explosive of the energy sacrifice more than the escape it's a signal rebellion and ground splitting fire recruits the errant scrambles you don't just grabs your grabs a pina and instant of a catching fire and shifting from the wars between the constantly to the wars and ideology the kidneys wake up a day later not to be charring and dysfunction district 12 is destroyed the peace is captured the capitol barriers of power is cracking and the film leaves you hanging on the possibility of a resolution. Why did the film become a culture phenomenon? Because it's a mirror a real world tension in a heightened friction world. Viewers are saw the peril and control the vision of freedom and obsession of the government and the power of the symbol kidneys become iconic and fans and debates the motives and alliances her power. The film sparkles, completes and tributes art and protest emerging and brand team by the Capitol worthy fashion spreading the discussion board lit up with the threads and about every character twice. The performance wise the Jennifer Lawrence dependence portrayal she shows in her conflict in a glass scenes the fear in her eyes is matched by the steels in his eyes and the henchpers give the peers give quietly slant Donald Sutherland's snow is every bit binance and flans of smile. These are the Pallies and the Hoffman bring dry intelligence and suitable compression and petract the cause just acting they are crying weight off for everything we will show deep dives because the film rewards repeated attention every time you watch a layer peels back you notice the Capitol's propaganda protesters in a background art you realize alliances shift from the freaking Johnsons and unpredictable beats strengthening brilliance you can't catch the forest drawing in a mirror line and about rebel in a window about the district rumors you think you are just watching a story but really you watching the setup of a textions change. The pricing is a masterful, and the tense quit movement like a victory towards and grants explosive. They are immense and the terrifying. The sound doesn't behind the witness breath and the distance and threads. The chords swell when they hop are flicking and fall silence and betrayal strikes. They are rhythm to the emotional beats on the prices. It's of graphics. In Sun, Catching Fire is just a sequel and expansions. It's the taking of a character shape in a diversity and truth by the moral storm. It takes the spectral and turns into the revolt. It's take a survival story and turn into a revolutionary, and from the careful attention and visual contrast and emotional continuity between the characters and deeper politics and play, this film offer more entertaining. It offer a work in a every detailed manners, and you can pause, rewatch, discuss, and more world reveal itself. So step into the noise and silence and glory and the obsession of underrising. Let visual over the performance steals you, and the symbol hunts you. The hunter game Catching Fire is more than a movie, and the experience, the movement, the mirror up to our reveals and hope. Kidneys wakes a weighted heavier and survival itself, knowing that the year and defeats of a place and her crosshair of a capsule home become a district 12 is a covered and street and whisper of her dangers and the victory, and the president of Osno visit her at a modest home at November 22, 2013. The Flora tense and will carry the means, and he promises that is she can't quell and reset people she love maybe the suffer, and the threatened by his stools and pulls audience the suspension so deeply you can feel Katniss' heartbeat. The Piton stands and beside her claims and warriors his studied voice and gently contrasts and Katniss revolt. The relationship is the tested earlier. She warned the star-crossed lovers and to save her life, while they are quickly hoping and real connections. These the airfield trending and orchestrated the Capitol pregnant like victory towards full of the colors and spectrals and but witness Peter's hearts and everything is grey with the each district visit and see the empty seats and quit of a turning and their crawls of appellants speaking, cheering and coloring reset the swimming breath and control the terrifying. The film is show the visuals hanging a lottery bands and the protest without a sparkling, and the tour words and tension build between the kidneys and snows and maintain the quiet creations. District 11 explodes, witness give a salute and that supposed to be a part of the snow. The revision tributes with the screens and kidneys show how more than tribute, and she is the symbol. In the capital, the extravagant scene hidden the brutal control and Capito stylish paint and kidneys with paint in rich hue, their rubies gleaming like jewelry. Presidents snow the watch and surveillance because the perfect control, but it's the costume and the paradise are propaganda hallucination for a fair mask and bright wings mean to feel the performative and rather than the joyful. The Capitol drops and the bombshell, the quarter coil, the shocking announcement that tribute will be drawn for the previous victory stones everyone. The gasps echo in a era Kentra name is bold silence peers and ready to claim step up for the volunteer. The moment crash royalty covers wrap in a pain you feel in a air press in a she notes they turn between the gratitude and guilt. The triad rides back to the Capitol's intention. Witness Beards lock in their own mind. They Beards reading a book, and Kidney studies the pants and lights. Image clash, peace, promise, but the fair understand the Capitol's skylines near trap tower and brilliance and billboards and clashing history of a part games are promises of the controls one proudly tribute for the district 1 2 and now the Exynos warriors the camera lines and the eye searching when they arrive and tribute like a audience and build it of sadness and the flickering Johnson's mentioned seniors at the publicity and scoring shock the value and jokes and insult BTs and wires appear as a cute overloaded mind with them who matter about the strength they don't smile they observe the tone shift from acute overload from the Brudu to the psychological chase, the audience build the tension with the every glance between the players. Every before entering the era, kidney scenes, the training center is a sterilized and the brittle gents and watching her every move she light a fire at a bicures from in front of the literally the sparkless ignorance fair mix of the administrations the silence is the errands where she walk and way and defeat its respect that the scenes foreshadow how spent and the expectation throughout the game as the enter era the burster of energy reviewers of the adrenaline their new era is the terrifying in the designs of clocks and deadly zones each hour spring as a new hazard the tribute spreading weapon down the air smell of water and foliage the birds chirp and suddenly gone it set the tone for the survival behind the physical dangers the medical warfare the mental warfare the earlier movement isn't intense suspension a wave crash in a midnight and the kidneys throats his upward the adrenaline surging and people are hurt the panic separate like a fear she run she gasps for a panel snaps hurts and tricking system locking a section of errands once they clock zones open and close the rules become fair the kidneys finds Peter is just a remains is the shaking she want to protect she want to trust he want to safety their relationship change from the quickly partnerships and dispressions alliance when the Jones offer the alliance it feels fierce and tragedies unpredictable and the flickering lines flow the strength from friendly smile but always be guarded the BTs and wars Vice joins too and awkwardness hid by the hermits and the tension ballast to the hope and joining the force for the safety. Well, joining forces, the safety strategies and share the food and the share winning, warning and build a trust. The game become more layered and trapped, tested more intelligence and directions. Water and collapse, fog, stun, toxins, and creature creeps and fires rose in a path and is just about the fighting it's about planning, reacting, and staying ahead. Katniss witnessed the B-tree plans to use live wire to short circuit and the place to feel these things are alive, hit and not just a fight. They need a weapon. The plan build a suspension for a future breakthrough. The lines watch and wait, and Pugler's horsebeans acting ahead game maker. Kidneys and beat, and they are slightly signal nails it and controls is the sleepy and game or script and but players will be rewrite them as a kidney spires or the substage and Howcraft carrier and wooden alleys, the tension underfolds and she returned to the Johnnies and finding blisters and reveals family torrents and the Capitol and Ferries Raw's personal and the movements are prepared for the audience, people pain feel and politics actions. At the next step, the course pluses and cute tension is whispers, the Lord Pete in a chasing. The visual shift from the forest green to the flashing steel and bloody ready rain. The audience can't stop watching. Is just at the happening for a means. Each challenging bring the emotional staking and Pete's injuries and flaking protectiveness and Katniss guilt. The countless begin, the clocks marks final hours, and the beans attack for the precious wrap, sunrise from the heavies, kidneys and bittens plays the BTs or range in wires and kidneys distract enemies. The plants take the suspension for a limit. When the arc across the field, sending energy into the force field, the viewers press and as area fracture walls left and explosions raplings and words and their things are very silently smoking and disperse everywhere at Kisney brilliantly surprise and shock. The lenses are strand the movement hit from the pulling isn't planes of the dust are lies of fires and camera chasing her face shocky realizing and she escaping for the futures and tearing apart. The futures are isn't collapse of what the clocks is Nor's lines, the destruction as foreshadowed for the relevance. As she opened, the eyes of emergency lightning and rebel voice and shifting the game of rebellion straws and the film first half build of fear alliances and powerful struggles and the reshapes everything and witness to the longers and the playing in the survival and one more thing is this, she is a part of something greater and I believe this the first half ended not just a revolutionary it's the edge of revulsion. Well, every character we meet appears steady royalty, and Flickney hidden the pain, and Johnson fears are independent. Pete's cute genius and shape tone every moment and he reheard a smile silent salute wave crush sparring for shadows how to control the shift and powers to break and the story isn't slowed it's no more gather and strength gathering energy and preparing for a second half and the transformation and turn into the game war and the witness revoked. Now I am explaining the most important thing. You must focus on it. Believe me, you must enjoy the everything. If you listen these reviews, facts, stories, and everything, you are really enjoy the movie while you are watching in a cinema and legal websites the officially released websites where the movie is always available for watching. I believe when you are listening to me for a relevant of this, I believe you must watch this movie on the theaters. I prefer go watch there and you must enjoy the snow now surrounding and now move on to the topic where we are discuss these things. Now the revolution began and her legs are weakened to the heart putting with the question where's the Pete and District 12 here? How scary lies reigns about her and smoke shaking capital braving. This moment is where something second begin and shaking views of everything that come before. No more energies, no more pretensions, and no war is a stirring. And Katniss is just a pawn, and she was the architectures of a symbol. Her recuse feels urgent and cold, rebel, ununiform, strategies, urgency whispers as a shelter. and I believe and it will be hit. And regional heaviers and games maker and everything is like this. You must enjoy. Maybe continuously I am explaining the whole things, but don't be bored like I am talking. Always be relevant to topic, but sometime you need to focus, and when you are listening the complete information relevant to the reviews and facts, you are enjoying and you are deep down on that. So believe me, this thing is very interesting. I am doing a very hard work. Everything is like I am at a studio and everything is a silent, like no ears, no. And I'm suffering from very like control environment where I am recording a voice just for you. If you subscribe my channel, it's very helpful for me. Don't please forget for this. This is not be a thing. Now we are moving towards at the district 13s. The stark contrast and the cupidity flirts and the speckless everything is the urbans and the great contraction mooring no fails commanders and listening these things. Well, right now I am totally hard. Now I give it to my sister. He's well known about English. Now she explain further. She's now explaining further. She's very like always be active and very good in English. Maybe you enjoy more while she's speaking. And I believe this editing and everything is very important for our channel. No, well, might be she's busy, I think so. She said, she in front of me, she said I am not be able to speak in front of you. Sorry for this. I not be confirmed she is be able for speaking right now because she is doing their own work right now. I pay her, then might be she help me. As you know, the second half, the firefighters break to the District 11. The film dials the urgencies in the breaking of powers lines and rescue until the navigation birds and street and children hiding their rebellions and rebel strategies on the move and the Soviet future capital and things and the these things are very necessary. Like we are talking about that back in district 13, the kidney struggle, she want to save the peers and rebels, assist in the control of propaganda, shoots interviews and fit of because they are resistance. Use of manufacturing hope and rebellions begins not a weapon but is a word to refuse her latin grab of a script. And her confirmation with the crumbs and demands and the place confirmation and signals shifted her tones from town power and active leader. The Pete's rescues missions intensive the suspension and spokeless teams and working leaders and rebels and feeds snow for the flicking image of destruction emerged for the missing collapsing in the districts among the hunger strikes in 1 and 2s and the Kiptol crabbles and meanwhile the witness voice and recording in the dark room and bringing to the utility like while I am talking about and telling everything reviews and facts. I am in a room where everywhere is a black, there is no light in here, just speaking in a very high temperature. I am feeling like as the my body is sweating for just for the video. That how it's difficult to spelling and speaking continuously 1.5 hour and one and I don't know how much this speaking will be, but it's very difficult. That how it's difficult while you're speaking continuously. Like most of the people are in the university while they are giving the lecture to the student, may be easy the people in front of you and you're speaking to them. But in here, you're speaking with the mic is very difficult. As no one is listening you, but you're continuously like telling everything about the movie facts and figures and explanation everything about the characters, and that it's very difficult. Might be you must be subscribe my channel. It's very helping for me. Why are you not doing this? Yeah, you are everyone like you are my viewers. Why are you not be pressing a red button and like on? Some people are saying this is a movie, not be a movie. This is a review. I always be mentioned on the titles, but don't know why people do this. Well, they are not be view properly title, that's why they are saying. But sometime I'm not be able to answer you because I am always busy. I am a doctor, so these things is very difficult for me. This is my hobby to commentary and giving the education about the movies, that the public reveals. Let's move to the topic. The climate reveals the kidneys. I think so I explained this. Now we are moving towards the next. The coma come from the public event and exclusive scene meets and display to the capital witness. She accept the emergency tributes and fencing things are known. Well, let us the journey where the Hunger Game catching fire heavily together the transformation, motivational, emotional journey of its characters and seamless, explosive, and bring every performance of vivid life. The Katniss Everdeen began a girl of a survival, forged in a goal and stake dust of the district wall, driven by the fear to protest the family. But halfway they are catching fire, and she will evolving, and her defense isn't calculated, it's just for the insectic. Now after a snow threads and the victory tours, and she shocked of a quarter while the kidney motivation shift. She must be protected a loved one, but reckless and the symbols. Jennifer Lawrence captured the evaluation evaluations of breaking suddenly one glance and flicking of her eyes and steel in her jaw say more than a page of expressions. The smell gesture of a light, they grew a flame in the front of the jing and last speckless and define securance reckons and her tightly duration speak the terrifying the voice bursting pads and suddenly stillness and revulsions, the districts having the unforgettable. The Beats Malin stand behalf the more consensus motion grounded, and the first film he was a kind, friendly turn alley in a catchy fire. His motivation is blind love and safety. When they volunteer as tribute, their acute courage rooted affection and but fear of losing control and watching Katniss walk into a danger alone and deliver a balance of a warning and war and one pit and crash witness after rebelling their eyes reflection not only a fear and absolutely devotions and later in the errand is just an injuries and the vulnerabilities they turn into the deficiencies and reliance and changing their voice when they are about waiting to protect in the vices to each a new physical horror and the performance impact layer. The relationship and deepens no longer just a line just lovers and stave of death and cracking come to kidneys played Cliff and confidence of concern of Grails and especially Annie Crystal back in District 4. His joke as the infatuation smiles and until draw from their cameras and leaners to the brook of parties and their eyes nearly defend movement. Motivation shift from a victory to a reality, and enemies to the cause of the flicking become a proof that a victory, even a beautiful abandon, is just about spreading pain. The Jonan Basin storm onto the screen barefoot and breasted. She seemed unpredictable and causing fears, but her backstory unfolds in a whispers, and we understand her fire and snow ships. It's a range born of a tribute and obsession. Her motivation spreading is just for the stairs. And well, she fight Capito with the words before the weapons, and Janice Melion simply deliver her insult and her salute, raw and beating a defeat and repelling unforgettable. Behind every serial lies a memory of a pain and promise and tributing. Beatly, violence, and Katniss are